How are you guys doing today?
I'll never forget that boy who stood off from the others. He seemed to say so much without speaking. His story made me a believer in the United way. When he was born, doctors thought he was autistic, a child unable to communicate to the world around him. And then when Eric was 5, special testing found that he was profoundly deaf.
I was born deaf. I can hear music or people. I can even hear myself. But because you gave to the United Way, I learned how to use hearing aids. I learned to speak. And now I can do everything other kids could do. I don't know how much you gave to United Way. I just wanted you to know how much you gave me. United Way, it brings out the best in all of us.
Yeah, you got it.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
We'll be back with more of our NFL Live halftime activities after this message from your local station.
Law. These are the cops who try to get the criminals off the street.
Hey, you must be an all-star. He's hitting the ball so hard he's making it bleed.
And order. These are the prosecutors that try to put them away.
The cops try to catch them and I try to cook them. It's my job.
One story, one crime.
From the streets through the courts.
Law and Order on NBC.
Your Ford dealer's clearing out every truck in stock. If you want to get up to $1,500 cash back on the best-selling trucks in America, then you'd better hurry. $1,000 cash back on Ford Ranger. $600 back on full-size F-150s. Low financing, too, but time is running out. Hurry, get the cash back, get the low financing, get that once-a-year clearance deal. But get there while there's still a good selection. See your local Ford dealer today. Quality people, quality products.
Arby's original roast beef sandwich. Lean, tender, slow-roasted beef piled high on a toasted sesame seed roll. Now just 99 cents. Taste the Arby's difference.
Bo, yeah, he knows baseball and he knows football. But here at New Center 38, we know them all. Diddly? What kind of sport is that? New Center 38 Sports, weeknights at 6.
Growing Pains, weeknights at 7.
Okay, welcome back to our NFL Live studios in New York. Bob Costas along with Will McDonough and O.J. Simpson. Coming up shortly, a look at all the scores and highlights from around the league today. But during this segment, let's focus on one game that'll be played tonight and another tomorrow night, beginning with the Saints and the 49ers at the Superdome in New Orleans, the Monday night game. Will, your thoughts?
Well, I think the Saints are going to beat them. You know, everybody seems to forget that New Orleans has the second-best record in the National Football League over the last 3 years. The only one better is the 49ers. And I think the 49ers are beat up in the offensive line going into this game, and I look for the Saints to play great defense.
The 49ers beat them twice last year, but both those games were very close, razor-thin difference each time.
Well, you know, normally when you get two teams playing in the same conference like that, they have to play each other twice. No matter what the records are, they play each other tough. New Orleans, way back when I was with the 49ers, played them tough. The 49ers' biggest problem is they got so many of their offensive linemen in camp so late, and it takes time to play yourself in shape. I think they're probably the most dedicated group of athletes I've ever been around. They started training 2 weeks after the last season, but you know you can push yourself only so far. You need the coaches to push you, and when you miss camp, it hurts, and it's going to hurt them maybe for 3 or 4 weeks, even though I think the Niners are going to win.
The Eagles and the Giants tonight at the Meadowlands?
Should be a great football game. I mean, you talk about a rivalry there. You got one of the best rivalries in football. It's always a physical football game, but I just think the Giants, this might be their year. I think the Giants had a great preseason. They're pumped. They got new guys in there. I think they're playing super football right now, and I give them the edge.
Yeah, I think what's really hurt Philadelphia is the sort of the catalyst of their victories over the Giants in recent years was Keith Jackson, the tight end who's not playing tonight. Now, he was always the guy, when Randall started running back around there, he looked for Keith Jackson, okay? Keith Jackson's not playing tonight. So I think, unless they get a great game out of Mike Quick, who missed all of last year with a knee injury, that the Giants will beat him tonight.
The former Jet, Mickey Schuler, moves into Jackson's slot, at least temporarily.
Yeah, they're lucky to pick up Schuler. And people say, why would they pick up Mickey Schuler, a guy who played for the Jets and they weren't that good last year? The new offensive coordinator of the Eagles is Rich Kotite. And if you're going to get a guy in the last week of preseason, you better get somebody that knows your offense. That's why they brought in Mickey Schuler. At least he knows the offense.
Yeah, and you mentioned that he's always looking for Jackson in the open field. Whenever he gets within the 20, he's looking for Chris Carter, and Carter's not there. So he's got to find some guy that he can count on down in that, what we call that scoring zone. And I don't know if he has a guy on the roster that he has that much confidence in.
You know why? Because the Eagles have never run the ball well against the Giants. Even though they beat the Giants, they always beat them with the passing game. So they have to beat them with the passing game tonight.
What about the Giant passing game? Now, they have a group of wide receivers, Ingram and Baker and the others, who are not much heralded, are an adequate group, not a great group. Much depends, I would think, then, upon Mark Bavaro's recovery. If he can come back to something close to form, and if Phil Simms doesn't get squashed, this seems to happen quite a bit, they got a crack at the Super Bowl.
I think so, but the big thing, like Quick on one side, is Bavaro on the other side, his health.
We got to get out of here real quick, and we'll see you in just a bit as the halftime show rolls on.
Here at the Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, we had rain for about 5 minutes in the first half. And in reality, it rained on the Houston Oilers parade. The first half completely dominated by the black wave of the Atlanta Falcons, led by Andre Rison. Atlanta 27, Houston 7. It is halftime. Now let's join Bob Costas for more of our NFL Live halftime activities. Bob?
Boy, this is really something, this first half in Atlanta, isn't it? In Glanville's wildest dreams, he couldn't have hoped for this. Not only doing it, but doing it in just the fashion he favors, with an aggressive, swarming defense, getting the crowd into it. But we'll talk more about that in just a moment. Let's begin here on this halftime segment by getting you updated on the games that are already concluded at Soldier Field today. Mike Ditka's defense, which fell apart toward the end of last year when they lost 6 straight, was all over the Seahawks. They shut them out, and the offense was good enough. Neil Anderson, terrific lunging catch off the Jim Harbaugh pass. Anderson had 2 TDs on the ground, rushed for 101. They let the Seahawks get only 6 first downs in the whole game and beat them 17-0. Don Majkowski back in the fold in Green Bay, not ready to play yet. His replacement, the previously unknown Anthony Dilweg, throws for 3 touchdowns at Lambeau Field against the Rams, including this 47-yarder to Jeff Query. The Rams plagued by turnovers, 5 of them all told. Packers win 36-24. Was it hot in Kansas City? You be the judge. 130 on the AstroTurf. Here's Christian Okoye, last year's rushing champ. 2-yard TD plunge in the 4th quarter. It proves to be the difference. Kansas City beats the Vikings 24-21. Andre Ware didn't suit up for the Lions today. Last year's Heisman Trophy winner watched a former Heisman King have a big day for the opponents, Tampa Bay. Vinny Testaverde with 3 touchdown passes, including this 19-yarder to Gary Anderson. The Lions turned it over 6 times. The Bucs upset him 38-21. And was Joe Bugle upset? He should have been. He returns to RFK, where he used to be a Joe Gibbs assistant, watches his new team, the Cardinals, stink the joint out. Alvin Walton with the interception off the deflection. They picked Tim Rosenbaugh off 4 times all told in the game. Mark Rippon threw for 3 TDs. The Redskins romp over the woeful Cardinals 31-0. Now to games in progress. Pittsburgh is playing at Cleveland, and I see the Browns just scored their first TD of the game, a defensive touchdown. I don't have the exact details, but Cleveland has gone in front 7-3 early in the 3rd quarter at home. Denver and the Raiders, Jerry Robinson with a 5-yard interception return off an Elway pass, obviously near the goal line, and the Broncos, who had led 6-0 at halftime, cough up the lead. The Raiders go in front 7-6 in the 3rd. Atlanta, in the game you're watching, with the 27-7 lead over Houston. What more need be said? The first 3 times Houston had the ball, they fumbled it. The first one set up a Steve Broussard touchdown. The other 2, when the Oilers might have been able to argue that the whistle should have blown, but in either case, the plays were allowed to continue, and Bobby Butler and Jessie Tuggle returned the bobbles for touchdowns, and the Falcons are smiling 27-7 at the half. The Jets in Cincinnati are locked up at 10-all midway through the 3rd quarter at Riverfront. Boomer Esiason just hurled a 10-yarder to Eddie Brown to even that one up. Earlier, Ken O'Brien threw 46 to his favorite target, Al Toon, for the Jet touchdown. Buffalo at home against Indianapolis, and the Bills lead 16-10. But just moments ago, Jeff George threw his first NFL touchdown pass. The #1 pick in the entire draft last spring hit the great veteran Stanley Morgan, who left the New England Patriots to come to Indianapolis. 25-yard scoring throw. The Colts, of course, playing without Eric Dickerson, who's suspended for at least 6 games and trailing now by 6 at Buffalo, 16-10. Miami was down by a score of 21-6, but they've crept back into it in Foxborough, trailing now only 21-20. Dan Marino with a 35-yard touchdown pass to Tony Martin just before halftime. Sammy Smith a 3-yard run early in the third quarter. In the first half, 16-year veteran Steve Grogan had thrown for 2 touchdowns for the Patriots, and they lead now by the slimmest of margins, 21-20. And San Diego is at Dallas. The Cowboys have lost 26 of their last 28 regular season games, and the Chargers lead it 14-7. We'll rejoin the party in Atlanta right after these messages from your local stations.
The rules of etiquette in Bel Air. Never talk openly about wealth.
Yo, this place is huge, man. Next time I go to my room, I'll take some breadcrumbs.
Make polite conversation at parties.
I used to fence at Bel Air. Really? How much you think we could get for that stereo?
Fresh Prince of Bel Air, premiering on NBC Monday.
Hondas sell for less in Columbus. At Ken Thomas, Hondas sell for less every day. And right now, our 1990 Honda clearance sale means even lower prices for you. You'd expect to pay over $16,000 for this Accord. Listen, Ken Thomas 90 closeout price as low as $10,495. You'll be satisfied with your Honda, very satisfied with your closeout price, and more than satisfied with the Ken Thomas service. I guarantee you.
Ken Thomas Honda in Columbus, where Hondas sell for less.
TV 38, the Valley's only 24-hour station.
Welcome back to Atlanta. I'm Charlie Jones along with Todd Christensen. A first half completely dominated by the Falcons, and they did it with their defense.
Yeah, that's right. I think that everybody had anticipated that early on it would have been an offensive struggle, you know, the fact that it'd be really high scoring with all the wide receivers. But in fact, the story has been Jessie Tuggle and Andre Bruce.
Yes, and let's go to Jessie Tuggle now and his touchdown.
Well, this is a great move that he makes right here. You know, he fends off the block of Mike Munchak and tackles Warren Moon. Now, the ball squirts loose here. And a lot of times when the guy is down, you have a tendency to just let it ride. But Tuggle does a smart thing, gets the ball and goes up and he starts to run and he scores, even though everybody else is just standing around. Now, neither Drew Hill nor anybody else has been able to block Andre Bruce. Here he comes and wipes out Warren Moon's pass. They got to do something with Andre Bruce in the second half.
What will they do?
Well, they're going to try to double team him a little bit and try to take him out of the defense. But what's been happening is that Marcus Cotton, Tim Green, and some of the others have been picking up the slack. You know, they're just covering all over the field, and I guess maybe they're hoping that the Falcons will get tired.
Now, what has Atlanta done defensively to stop the run and shoot? Because everybody said the run and shoot is unstoppable. We thought that we might be here till midnight simply because of a high-scoring ball game, but in reality, it has not worked that way at all.
Well, in reality, we still might be here till midnight.
That's also true because each quarter lasted 53 minutes.
But the issue here, Charlie, is the fact that the secondary is doing an outstanding job of covering the receivers. And they're mixing up their pass rushes, but the key to it has been that Sanders and company are doing a great job in the secondary.
Atlanta will be kicking off to start the second half. As we take a look at the halftime statistics, turnovers 5 and 2 are the big numbers, along with 27-7 Atlanta. And here's Bernard Ford on the return for the Oilers. Darian Connor is the man who cut him down.
Second-round pick out of Jackson State. They're really high on him, but right now, the linebackers they got in there, Cotton and Bruce, are doing the job.
So Houston will start the third quarter with a first down at their own 18-yard line. And showing some signs of offensive life in the second half of the second quarter.
Well, if you notice on the time of possession, it's narrowed to 16 minutes to 13. A lot of that had to do with the fact that that long drive that got them in the end zone. But still, they have a long ways to go. 3 touchdowns to make up.
12-yard return by Bernard Ford. And Warren Moon really taking a beating in the first half. Houston opens on the ground. Lorenzo White, he may lose a yard. John Rady out of Boise State makes the tackle.
We didn't call his name too much in the first half, but they're so preoccupied with everybody else. Here, Rady shoots the gap and makes a great play here on Lorenzo White. Gee, what do you know? Andre Bruce again.
He's got to be the NFL Player of the Week. He has to be the Defensive Player of the Week.
Yeah, I was going to say, if they have the Pro Bowl votes, you'd have to like his chances right now after the first week, huh?
If it was a college game, you'd like his chances for the Heisman.
No. Ty Detmer's for that.
Ty Detmer. Oh, what a game he had last night.
There he comes.
Screen, right side. And White is pulled out of bounds by Torrey.
You know, Charlie, a lot of situations when the Andre Bruces and the Marcus Cottons keep blitzing, you got to wonder if the other people have to make up for the slack that they're going to cause by coming, you know, all by themselves and not going into their pass defense. Here you get a chance to see that the pursuit of the Falcons is something that, for some reason, the Oilers can't seem to overcome. They're flying around out there, and their defensive coordinator, Doug Shively, has to be happy about that.
3rd down and 3 at the 25. Incomplete. There may be a flag. Roland Mitchell, I think he bumped him before the ball got there. There is no flag.
I think you're probably right. Warren Moon isn't the type to complain about this. He has pretty good protection. Puts it right in there, and you can see right there, contact a little bit early there.
Surprised it wasn't called. It'll be 4th down and 3.
Lorenzo White really isn't a match for Andre Bruce, as you see right there. Pushes him back into Warren Moon and causes him to throw off his back foot.
Montgomery kicking to Deion Sanders. A couple of good moves. The flag is down. We asked Deion yesterday if he'd like to go to office. He says, "Oh yes, I'm a man of big plays."
Well, somebody that has that kind of ability to play 2 sports, you got to figure can catch the ball. If it gets to the point, you know, Charlie, where he is one of the great cornerbacks in the game, what they're going to do is they'll just throw to the other side.
Illegal block in the back, number 30.
Eugene Seal down on the coverage. 49 yards on the punt. The penalty goes against the Falcons.
Limping a little bit, but I guess he'll be okay. Look at that gold hanging out. Holy cow.
Is that legal?
I know in the NBA it isn't. Maybe in the NFL they figure it's okay inside the pads. Maybe it's a good luck charm. That was nice of you to lend him your bandana, though.
Well, I knew he needed help.
Yeah.
Steve Broussard, who you saw coming limping out in the first half, is okay. He's back in at the start of the second half. I don't think you ought to wear gold in a football game.
I think you're right.
You can hurt yourself. If it comes, it could hit somebody in the eye and hurt them.
You're absolutely right.
Do it.
Sterling silver, maybe. But,
platinum is all right.
Platinum's okay.
Platinum's all right. Atlanta from their own 23, 1st down. Some of you say, platinum, are you sure? The results of the U.S. Open. The kid did it. The youngest in the history in straight sets. Oh, impressive. Also impressive, he went to Stanford.
Oh, come on. Why did you have to plug
Well, my son went to Stanford.
Did I plug Ty Detmer?
No, but you plugged your home high school.
Did I plug the fact that they beat the #1 team yesterday?
Yeah, but you were ready to do it. You were ready to do it, and I beat you to the puck.
I wonder how many aces Sampras had in that. What a serve. What, 130 miles an hour?
130.
Oh. About the same as my 40.
Ooh, yeah. Quick. Congratulations. Play action fake, touch pass, it's complete. Keith Jones. Chris Miller continues to look good. Richard Johnson with the tackle.
Good counter move where the quarterback fakes and it looks like the linemen are all going in one direction and he comes back. Here you'll see the running back come underneath right now. See, there's Jones letting the flow go past him and he's all by himself. Nice touch pass by Chris Miller. Jones cuts it upfield and runs over Johnson for some Johnson for some additional yardage. Good play. Hadn't shown it in the first half. Give credit to the Falcons for not being predictable.
Gain of 16 to the 38-yard line, 1st down. Play action fake again. Right back to Keith Jones. Johnson again with a tackle.
Well, under the strategy of don't stop doing it until they stop it, they do the exact same play over again, and it gets another 1st down. Heads up by Chris Miller, seeing the defense in the same situation, running the same play.
And a gain of 13. Will you do it again?
I don't think so. You know what they say. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. 3rd time is, I don't even know.
I was going to say, I was wondering what you were going with that. 1st down at the Houston 49. Atlanta 27, Houston 7. 11-17 time remaining 3rd quarter. Play action right side. And I believe a bootleg all the way.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're right.
Now let's check in with the Hertz 10-minute ticker. Cleveland on top of Pittsburgh. Raiders now by 1 over Denver in a close one. Jets by 7. Buffalo by 6. New England by 4. San Diego by 7. So they're all close except Atlanta 27 and Houston 7 here at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium.
Yeah, we should also mention that, you know, there are 2 other games throughout the NFL, Charlie, where coaches are coming back to their old clubs. In the case of the Redskins and the Cardinals, it didn't go so well for Joe Bugle, but right now it looks pretty good for Kozlik.
Yes, it does.
They're ahead of the Cincinnati Bengals at this point.
Chris Miller does not like what he sees, and he takes a timeout. With the score, Atlanta 27, Houston 7, and 10-27 left in the third.
We're here on Easter Island to introduce the monumental new Isuzu Stylus. How does it compare to the Toyota Camry? Let's see what the gods think. The Stylus, with its Lotus Tune suspension, handles better and is just as roomy. Yet the Toyota cost hundreds more. The gods aren't too crazy about that. The new Isuzu Stylus at just $11,299. There's no comparison.
It's more than just a game.
17!
And if you play your cards right,
20!
you could win it all.
25! 25? I won! With that lineup? Yeah! Yeah!
Play Diet Coke Super Bowl lineup, and you could win up to $25,000. Game pieces and caps only on packages with Super Bowl lineup emblems.
Tough luck, Boomer.
Collect and win or win instantly.
Hey, a Super Bowl trip!
With 100% NutraSweet.
You've been up in the air for hours. Now you got to make up the time. Aren't you glad Hertz has a faster, easier way to rent a car? #1 Club Gold. No paperwork, no stopping at counters, nothing to slow you down.
Hertz, we're America's wheels.
You go straight to our gold parking area, where your car is waiting, ready to go.
I'm gonna make it.
Hertz,
It's the fastest way to rent a car.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Isuzu. For features, styling, and price, there's no comparison. By State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by Diet Coke. You'll drink it just for the taste of it.
Atlanta 27, Houston 7. And Chris Miller changing his drop this year. He has been able to go a 3-step drop and a 5-step drop and a 7-step drop. And he said what it does, it forces the defensive linemen to lift their heads and find out where I am. Gives me some more time, and he really likes it. And he is on target again. Andre Rison.
Charlie, you're exactly right. Last year when he was a quarterback, he had a standard 7-step drop, and defensive linemen were just teeing off on him at will. Now, with the changes in the drop and the opportunity to move in and out, he's doing exactly what it is he wants to do, and in this case, doing it with his favorite receiver. Rolls left, comes back right, gets it to Rison out in the flat, who makes a nice move, gets by Steve Brown, cuts up for the extra yardage. Here's Rison in motion. He waits for the 2 receivers to get ahead of him, makes the move. It's an option move right there where he can go in or out. In this case, he goes out because there's nobody in the flat. Gets by Steve Brown. It takes 3-4 Oilers to get him down.
And a first down at the Houston 31. Atlanta leading 27-7 as they drive again. And we have whistles, and the play is called out. We have illegal procedure against the Falcons. And Todd will read the lips of the referee, Bob McElwee. No, we got a shot of Deion limping, so you do not get an opportunity to read his lips. But we will have that for you later in the game.
Well, I'm no physical therapist, but let me read his legs. He's in a little bit of pain. How about that?
First down and 15 as the ball goes back to the 36-yard line. The sprint draw, And it is Broussard who sprints. That was 1st and 15. He does not pick up the first down, but he comes within about 3 steps.
You know, it's interesting that 1st and long or 2nd and long, one of the more common things that you want to call is the draw or screen. Here he pulls out, and of course they're in a pass rushing mode, and there's a big hole there. Nice block on Johnny Means, and he cuts to the left. Good job downfield blocking by the wide receivers as Johnson forces him out of bounds, but not before he gained
10. Yeah, they had him out at the 26.
Okay, 10 yards then.
2nd and 5. I thought he picked up a little more, but he didn't. All alone in the end zone, Rison, and here it is. The highlight zone.
They threw the flag, though, Charlotte. You see that?
Yeah.
They threw the flag. They knew that. I can't believe that 7,000 people voted that the highlight zone. I really can't believe that. Great move, though, in this situation. Bubba McDowell blitzes here. You'll see him come off the left, or you'll see Bubba McDowell trying to cover Rison. Look at that. He's going forward instead of Rison going the other direction. There's no way he's going to be able to cover him in that situation. All alone for the touchdown. Nice read by Chris Miller and Andre. Don Cornelius ain't going to be calling you, babe. Don't look for the gig on Soul Train.
And the extra point is good. (34-7). The celebration continues.
Nothing refreshes quite like the real cola taste of Diet Coke. With 100% NutraSweet.
Hey, where's Boomer?
Guys! Why don't we have as much quiet here as we had on the greens?
Okay.
Come on, the ball, and they have no reaction.
No, the way you
whatsoever.
shoot these ducks are going to have to wear helmets.
No, you just need happiness to enjoy life. Very deep, Darnell. Very deep.
Wow.
Levi's 100% cotton Dockers. If they're not Dockers, they're just pants.
I look like my mom, but I act like my dad. Which is...
Well, be careful. I feel bad for your mom.
To introduce Isuzu's new rodeo, we've placed it and Toyota's 4Runner in this campground to see which is better for family fun.
Sure, the rodeo has more horsepower and rear anti-locking brakes, but another key difference is that only the rodeo seats 6.
So, combined with its price, thousands less than 4Runner, we see that only in a rodeo, no one gets stung.
The new Isuzu Rodeo, at just $12,499, there's no comparison.
L.A., Seattle, the Silver and Black Attack, and the School of Hard Knocks. The Raiders battle the Seahawks. Next Sunday.
We are back with 8:22 left in the third. 26-yard touchdown pass to Andre Rison. And because the flag, the kickoff from the 30-yard line. And here is the return of the Houston Oilers. And Bernard Ford is the return man, and the flag is dropped back at the 33-yard line.
Ken Tippins hates his body. I mean, he hates his body. Watch number 52 here go into the wedge. Look at this. Trying to show off his vertical. That's nuts. But, of course, I'll tell you right now that when they get into the film room, everybody goes, ooh, ooh, way to give it up. If they're offside, that means they're going to have to kick it off from the 25. We should mention that the reason they had to kick from the 30 was the fact that the official decided that Andre Rison's celebration was not spontaneous in the end zone, but was indeed premeditated. As far as I could tell, how could he know?
Well, it's hard to be spontaneous when they hold a contest in town. As you said, they had 7,000 replies to the contest to name his touchdown dance, and they named it the highlight zone. And so I do think that he had at least considered it prior to scoring.
Exactly, and I'm sure the referees read the paper and are cognizant of that.
Atlanta offsides on the kickoff, and it is refused by Houston. A touchdown drive of 78 yards in 7 plays. 6 in the secondary for the Falcons. Houston now trailing 34-7. More than 8 minutes to go in the third. And the lights are on. Knocked away. Good defensive play. Yesterday was photo day for the Atlanta Falcons. And after they took the official team photo, Jerry Glanville, as he did in Houston, he invited all of the families to come out, your kids, your wives, your girlfriends, and come join us for the family portrait. And this is the family portrait that was taken yesterday morning. It was great. Lots of fun.
And Bum Phillips was the one that really made that famous in Houston. Of course, Glanville, a lot like Bum Phillips, kind of a country guy with the boots, enjoying himself and enjoying the family as well. I mean, that's a great situation when you come out on Saturday and see who the people are behind the scenes with the players.
2nd and 10. Moon's pass is complete. Tony Jones, who has scored the only touchdown. Bobby Butler had the coverage. Let's check out the 10-minute ticker. Cleveland leading. Raiders in front, 14-6. Jets by 10. Buffalo by 6. New England by 4. Good ball game. San Diego still by 7. And here it is, Atlanta 34 and Houston 7. Change across the field for the measurement. It'll be 3rd down and that far.
And every time they've gotten the ball into Tony Jones' hands, something good has happened. They got to look for him a little bit more.
Tony scored the touchdown. And when we talked with Warren Moon yesterday, he said, you know, when you think of speed, you think of Cliff Branch, Willie Goff. So I tell you, Tony Jones has that kind of speed.
Well, you know, and if he continues to be successful, you know, we talk a lot about the Nolan Ryans and Lyle Alzato's making the over 40 crowd feeling good. If Tony Jones and the Gerald McNeils are going to make the under 150-pound people feel pretty good, too.
Quarterback sneak for the 1st down, and Warren Moon has it. He's out to about the 39, maybe the 38-yard line. Now for an update, let's go to New York and Bob Costas.
All right, Charlie, in L.A., the Raider defense put 2 touchdowns on the board in the 3rd quarter. First, Elway was intercepted by Jerry Robinson, who brought it back for a score. Here, Vance Johnson fumbles after the catch. Terry McDaniel picks it up and burns 42 yards for the TD. They've gone to the 4th, 14-6. Raiders back to Charlie and Todd.
Does that sound like deja vu of the 1st quarter here?
Well, they've done a great job defensively. The Raiders have drafted really well, and I think that side of the ball has vastly improved over 1989.
In the 1st half, all Atlanta's defense. Jeffries pulls it in. And another 1st down to the 49-yard line of Atlanta. Report on Deion Sanders. He hyperextended his right knee. We do not know if he will return. Obviously not in there on defense right now.
That would definitely be a problem because the cornerbacks have done an outstanding job today, including Sanders. And that makes one less body on the sidelines. If someone else goes down, they could be in real trouble.
Here's the pressure, and the pass is complete, and the race is on. Out of bounds. Haywood Jeffries with the reception.
They came with an all-out blitz in that situation, Charlie. You can see right from the middle, you see the both inside backers come. They come from the outside. Warren Moon knows that he's got single coverage outside, and Jeffries just beats Mitchell to the outside. Mitchell almost doesn't get him out of bounds here as Jeffries tightrope for some extra yardage. It's one of the few times today that Houston has been able to beat the Atlanta blitz.
And Houston stepping up their offensive pace now with 6:10 time remaining in the 3rd. First down at the 14-yard line. Almost intercepted. It was too quick for Tony Jones to pull in, and Brian Jordan behind him I think may have had the same problem.
Well, that was my fault, Charlie. I'm the one that jinxed Tony Jones. I said, throw him the ball, and right away, it goes right through his hands and bounces off of Charles Dimmery's shoulder pad, and Jordan almost gets it as well.
So it'll be second down at the Atlanta 14. Incomplete.
That face says a lot right there. You get a chance to see Warren Moon's face. He is really frustrated over the fact that his receivers can't seem to be able to come up with the ball. I know that this is a little bit low, but right there he's open. Warren puts it to the outside. It's a catchable ball.
It is.
It's a catchable ball.
You're right.
You get a chance to see Warren's look on his face right now. He's tried hard not to be frustrated, but there it is. That says it all. Come on, you guys. Help me out.
John Magg has a foot injury. Jay Finnison is out with cramp. A makeshift line. We have some movement before the snap. And the flags are down. And meanwhile, Tim Green is conversating with Warren Moon.
Conversating?
It's a new word.
Is that really a word?
Yes.
You mean we can do that on the air? We can coin words?
Yes.
That's great.
Here's the conversation.
Couple of us right there. He's saying, you know what? It's been a long day for me. A long day for me. Don't compound it, please. Well, that's what he was thinking anyway.
Third down and 15.
David Williams is now in for Don Maggs at the left tackle spot. And that could be interesting because that's where Andre Bruce is. He could take advantage of somebody who's newly in the game.
Matthews has moved to center, and Dawson is in as guard, and Moon is on the run. And it is caught and down.
Terrific catch by Lorenzo White. Unfortunately, it wasn't for any yardage. Laid out and got it.
Tim Green putting the pressure on Warren.
So what else is new?
Somebody has been with him all day long.
Well, you know, Tim Green, when he was conversating with him earlier, said, I'm going to rush you, partner. That's what happened.
Fourth and 15.
This has to say something about the tide of the game right here, Charlie. You've got 4th and 15 on the 19-yard line, and you're going for it.
Yes.
They're saying right now, hey, a field goal, it just isn't going to do it. And a lot of that has to do with the new rules with regards to time. That has something to do with it. We'll explain that a little bit later.
The snap with 2 seconds on the time clock. Touchdown.
Oh, great catch. Tony Jones again. What a catch by Tony Jones. He shows some vertical for a little bit, 5'7". Boy, that's all right. Here he knows right here, hey, it's 4th and 15. I'm going to throw it up and hope for the best. But you usually pick Haywood Jeffries, your 6'2" guy, to leap. Right there he goes up. He bobbles it. Does his feet come down? Do his feet come down? They do. And he's got a hold of it right on his right hip. You can see he's struggling with it right there near the end, and they could have called that incomplete. But he gave him the benefit of the doubt. Warren Moon checking it out. What's the call? He's waiting. He claps. Yes, touchdown. A little satisfaction.
Moon to Jones, 19 yards, and here's the extra point.
Well, I didn't jinx him after all.
Not at all.
All right.
It is